This is wrestling's greatest moments.
Hey now, wrestling fans, it's time for another episode of Wrestling's Greatest Moments. When it comes to monster heels, few can compare to Abdullah the Butcher. Sit back as Wrestling's Greatest Moments looks at Abdullah the Butcher, Terror of the Territories. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video. Abdullah the Butcher is another wrestler whose early days might make you wonder what happened to transform him into the Madman from the Sudan. Larry Shreve was born around 1941 in Windsor, Ontario. Shreve studied martial arts as a youngster and eventually trained law enforcement officers in Windsor, Ontario. According to the book, The Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, The Heels, the future Butcher was approached by wrestlers George Cannon and Chino Brito. According to legendary manager Gary Hart, Shreve spent his early career as a martial arts-based wrestler. However, by the late 1960s, his style was the one fans would become fearfully aware of, a lunatic who bit opponents, choked them, and used any available foreign objects, chief among them a fork, to bust them open. Shreve worked under the name Zalo Samara and possibly Abdullah the Hun before he adopted his legendary name. Abdullah's style became successful with the Madman from the Sudan enjoying the fruits of success. Abdullah worked in several territories early on, including Detroit's Big Time Wrestling, NWA Vancouver, and Stu Hart's Stampede Wrestling, to name a few. By the early 1970s, the Butcher was a top star wherever he went. As historians Greg Oliver and Steven Johnson tell it, it's hard to single out one particular spectacular event or program with Abdullah, but a one-month stint in summer 1972 when he won the National Wrestling Federation World title from Ernie Ladd, then set a Montreal attendance record with 26,000 fans against Johnny Rougeau isn't bad for starters. In Japan, he aligned himself with Shohei Baba's All Japan Pro Wrestling and toured the country 2 to 3 times a year for most of the 1970s. At more than 300 pounds, he won the promotion's big Grand Carnival in 1976 and 1979. Japan would become a successful territory for Abdullah, with fans deathly afraid of him, a common denominator for the Butcher, yet strangely compelled by the ghastly violence he displayed against opponents. Just when things couldn't get any worse, Abdullah teamed up with the Sheik, competing in All Japan Pro Wrestling. The Terror Twins had a legendary feud against Terry and Dory Funk Jr., battling over All Japan's World's Strongest Tag Determination League. Abdullah was more than a wrestler who lived by the adage, red equals green. He was a showman who understood the spectacle of professional wrestling. In the book, The Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame's The Heels, referee Bobby Simmons remembers, "First week here, he ate raw fish on TV, and then he ate a light bulb. He reached up, unscrewed a light bulb out of a socket, and ate it. I mean, I couldn't believe this. The people were afraid of him. Heck, I was afraid of him," Simmons said. "They went nuts when he got here. There had never been anybody in Georgia doing the things he did and acting like he did, so the people went bananas." Pro wrestling's ability to thrive by offering a style for everyone, whether it's a show full of different styles or a promotion that specializes in one type of wrestling, was proven time after time with Abdullah. Despite his limited offense, Abdullah's credentials as a monster to be feared by fans and opponents alike meant he could be used to boost the box office and build other wrestlers. In the case of young wrestler Tommy Rich, Rich's ability to survive a match with the Butcher helped him get over when he debuted in Georgia Championship Wrestling. According to GCW booker Ole Anderson, "When I first brought Tommy into Georgia, I had Abdullah the Butcher beat him in 30 seconds, less than a minute. As Abdullah left the ring, the referee came over to help Tommy up. Tommy told him he didn't want any help. He brushed the referee away. 'Just leave me alone. I can make it on my own.' Of course, the people were standing up, watching the drama unfold. I was listening to the people and gauging their reaction. When Tommy stood up, the people cheered and applauded." Ole repeated the formula, with Rich getting a little more offense in, and while his initial fairings against Abdullah all yielded the same results, defeat, His tenacity impressed the fans. Dory Funk credits the series with Abdullah the Butcher and the Sheik, with helping him and his brother Dory Funk Jr. secure their spot as fan favorites in Japan. We are almost always over as babyfaces in Japan, but the match that really pushed us over the top was a 1977 tag match against the Sheik and Abdullah the Butcher. That match was really hot, and both the Sheik and Abdullah were excellent. Abdullah's partnership with the Sheik went up in smoke after they dropped a match to Terry and Dory Jr. at 1979's Tag League Tournament. As documented in Brian Solomon's biography of the Sheik, things went sideways when Dory pinned the Sheik after Abdullah accidentally laid out his own partner. This resulted in the inevitable falling out of the team, with the Sheik blasting the Butcher with not one, but 2 fireballs as he was rushed from the ring. These matches are not for the faint of heart, not even by modern-day standards. They are among the seminal bouts that set the bar for what would become hardcore wrestling. A bar that some would say has never been cleared. Like many a wrestler with a lengthy career, the Butcher would wrestle through 6 decades, starting in the 1960s and ending in 2010. Abdullah knew how to keep his act fresh. The Butcher relied upon his notoriety, traveling between territories in and out of the United States. Tony Atlas, who worked with the Butcher in Georgia Championship Wrestling, recalls, "As a rule, Abdullah would spend 6 months in Japan and 6 months in the States. When he went to a new territory, it only took 2 to 3 weeks of advertisement and promotions to get him over, while it took months for other wrestlers to really get over with the people." Abdullah's status as a bloodthirsty monster made him a strong opponent for babyfaces such as the American Dream Dusty Rhodes and Carlos Colón, but it also led to monster versus monster battles, much like Dracula versus Frankenstein's monster or Godzilla versus King Kong. Abby's battles against monsters and maniacs such as the Sheik, the Great Kabuki, and Bruiser Brody, to name a few, are must-see matches for fans of hardcore wrestling. The Madman from the Sudan's trophy case bears witness to the many accolades he received, including championship belts from around the world. Abby scored singles and tag team gold, including the Montreal World Heavyweight Championship, the National Wrestling Federation World Heavyweight Championship, the NWA International Tag Team Championship, and multiple runs with the World Wrestling Council's Universal Heavyweight Championship. The Butcher typically stayed in character, becoming a boogeyman figure for young wrestlers and fans daring to cross paths with him. According to the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, there was one night though when Abby couldn't resist the dance floor, showing a much different side. "I went down to this African American club and I walked in and there he was. He looked like a big black Sidney Greenstreet, the guy you see in these old movies. Abdullah had a white suit and a big white Panama hat, and everybody around him was black, and he was out on the dance floor dancing his ass off. And that's what I think about now when I think of Abdullah. Dressing nice and classy, but everyone was scared of him, and they still are. Larry was a badass and still is." Over time, though, Abdullah showed a more personable side, opening 2 restaurants, Abdullah the Butcher's House of Ribs and Chinese Food. One was located in Atlanta, Georgia, the other in Japan. Diners had the chance to see a kinder, gentler Butcher, and Abdullah was reportedly quick to sign autographs. The Butcher continued wrestling into the 21st century, entering the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame, and the WWE Hall of Fame. To be certain, Abdullah wasn't the first hardcore wrestler. Far from it. However, like the most successful men and women of his era, he stood on the shoulders of previous wrestlers, taking his act to new heights through a combination of innovation and the incorporation of his unique personality into an unforgettable performer. Wrestler Johnny Powers discusses Abby's legacy. "I really believe the character of Larry Shreve that came out of Windsor actually created the best heel for his time. In my opinion, he took the Sheik's gimmick and took it to the next stage. If you are asking about villains, I think the Butcher is number 1. Do you remember Abdullah the Butcher's reign of terror in the territories? What's your opinion of the Madman from the Sudan? Share your thoughts in the comment section, and let us know if there are any videos you'd like Wrestling's Greatest Moments to cover. In the meantime, subscribe to our channel, follow us on X and Instagram, and spread the good news about Wrestling's Greatest Moments, the channel that celebrates the squared circle.